Hi, this is Tony Paradis, registered dietitian and personal trainer for Food and Fitness Online. Today, I'm going to talk about the athlete's gym bag. What should you keep in your gym bag? What kind of foods to help you perform better as an athlete? I'll talk about nutrition habits of young athletes, why sports nutrition is so important. I'll talk about planning ahead, what foods to put in your gym bag and what foods to avoid, and finally, what to bring on competition day. Most young athletes have bad nutrition habits. They don't eat the right foods, they don't have the right energy for practice or for competition, and they don't know the fundamentals of good nutrition. So some examples could be perhaps an athlete eats too much before practice, so they're getting sick or they're feeling discomfort during a workout, or maybe they're eating too many empty calories and they're not getting the right vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients in their diet to help them reach their full potential. So why should we focus on sports nutrition? Why is nutrition so important? Number one, it's important for recovery. You're breaking down your body with exercise. You want to build it back up with the right fuel for your body, with the right nutrition. It's going to give you good energy for sports. So unlike your traditional weight loss diets or maybe a bodybuilding diet, an athlete's diet needs to be high in energy. And a young athlete is often still in school, so you want to consider energy for learning. Glucose is the optimal fuel source of the brain, and we know that students that eat breakfast tend to perform better in school, so we can also consider that when we're considering sports nutrition for a young athlete. And finally, and probably most importantly, is it helps prevent overtraining and injury, which can end a young athlete's career quite soon. One of the most important concepts is planning ahead. You want to plan ahead for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and the snacks that you normally eat. I recommend keeping an emergency food stash in your gym bag, and that's what you're going to use it for. Plan ahead for other meals. In your gym bag, keep some of these emergency foods, which I'm about to talk about. In the gym bag, you want a lot of foods that won't spoil, foods that are preserved. Now, there's a lot of highly processed food out there that isn't really optimal for an athlete, so here are some examples of things that I like to use. Granola bars are high in carbohydrates and cheap, and a lot of young athletes like them. On the other end of the spectrum, we have your easy-to-eat, convenient protein source, beef jerky. Trail mix is always a good choice. I like pretzels too, or crackers, or any other kind of easy, preservable carbohydrate. Here I have Flipside pretzels and crackers. Nuts and peanut butter are a great high source of energy and taste really good, and also come with a lot of other vitamins and minerals, so I recommend you keep that along with your other foods that won't spoil. And also consider keeping some Gatorade powder in your gym bag, because you don't always have an option to stop and eat or eat a granola bar as an athlete. Sometimes you're going to have to drink your calories. And on practices lasting longer than an hour, you're going to want an easy to digest glucose source and to replenish your electrolytes, especially if you're working out outside. So Gatorade can come into play. What kind of foods do you want to avoid? Keep in the mind of keeping it convenient. Perishable foods. You don't want things that you're going to forget about and you leave in your gym bag and there's a mess later. Once again, messy foods, because you need things that are convenient not only to eat but to clean up. And also avoid energy drinks. Now, if we're talking about young athletes, you're not maybe even 18 years old yet, and if you need an energy drink to get through the day, I would challenge you to look at your diet, your lifestyle, and your training and try to make some improvements there before you start relying on energy drinks so early. And finally, stay away from foods that are soft and can get smashed. Once again, this creates a mess in your gym bag, and unless you have a container for it, you just want to avoid these foods altogether. On competition day, you don't want any strange or new foods or rituals with your nutrition. Keep eating the same foods that have proven themselves effective in your training. leading up to your competition. You don't want to try any new or strange foods and find out that on competition day they either give you bad energy or they give you some sort of GI discomfort. Also, on competition day, always bring more food than you think you'll need. You may even want to bring twice as much food than you think you'll need, because the last thing you want is to have bad energy and perform less effectively at a sport that you've been putting in so many hours to work up toward because you made a silly mistake and didn't bring enough food and had bad energy when it came time to perform. And finally, on competition day, stay away from low fat you want to eat low fat and low fiber. You don't want to have any kind of GI discomfort from the gas from a high fiber meal, and fat just doesn't give the right kind of energy you want on competition day. So when it comes close to your competition, eat a lot of high carbohydrate foods and lean sources of protein. So in conclusion, number one, sports nutrition is vital for sports activity and recovery. You want to do your best in practice to learn the skills the best and to get the most out of your time. And you also want to recover optimally so you can come back faster and stronger. Plan ahead. This is such an important concept, especially for a young athlete. Keep in mind that you're not always going to remember to bring your lunch, or you may not have food available to you. Having these emergency foods can really come into play. And finally, keep a variety of non-perishable foods in your gym bag. Just make that your emergency stash. Try to plan ahead for everything else, but if it comes down to it, you want to have the right food, you want to have the right fuel, and the right energy so you can perform the best that you can at sports. I'm Tony Paradis, registered dietitian and certified personal trainer for Food and Fitness Online. Check out my website at foodandfitnessonline.com. Thank you.